So, Dave, how do you feel about the importance of personal development in your entrepreneurship journey?
Well, again, many people talk about work-life balance, and I'm not really a big supporter of that because I believe that if you're doing what you love, it's part of your life. And so this is if you are working on a team, getting people to do some of the things you don't really love and they love, it's a great part of being, again, a good team manager or orchestrator or leader. And so this idea of personal development, I think, is integral in everything we do because it really is about understanding who we are and then finding out ways that allow us to do what we love to do. And so when you can combine with your natural unique abilities, with your X factor, with your passions, then this idea of working, again, as we talked a little bit about 4-hour work week, would you really only want to work 4 hours if you're doing what you love to do?
No.
Again, so it's a bit of an interesting misnomer, yet very, very effective marketing by Tim. And when you love what you're doing and you're learning and you're growing, which is what personal development is, I believe that for me, I feel that I probably would love to do it until the day I go into the ground, because it is something that allows me to grow and allows me to feel I am contributing not only to myself, to others. And then growing sometimes is painful because it is learning new skills. It is perhaps learning things that aren't easy, yet that's what's great about having great people around, so that you can ask questions and you can perhaps collaborate and you can learn together. And I think that's one of the great things about being part of a team. And if you aren't part of a team right now, look to be part of this ladies' team. Look for ways that you can stop just being all alone and by yourself all the time and thinking you have to come up with all the answers. Perhaps it's just hanging out with some people that might ask you some good questions, like, what would you like to do? Like, what would you love to do? Like, where would you love to go? And perhaps, who would you really have a lot of fun doing things with? And when you ask those type of questions, it can shift someone's mindset. And maybe they go from being a cynic or a skeptic to perhaps somebody who's a little more curious, or somebody who's going to be willing to step through fear and to take chances and to maybe look at failure a little differently than the way they used to. Because for me, failure is fun. It means that you've done your best. It's like, I remember as a former athlete, it's when you leave everything on the field. And you might be battered, you might be having a tear in the eye, you might have a blood here, yet you've left everything on the field. And I think that that's perhaps a metaphor for entrepreneurship at times. It can be rather bloody, yet it can also be, wow, what a great feeling that you're alive.